everybody, this is Kat,
And this is Cherry.
and you're listening to Keeping It Creepy with Cherry and Kat.
Yeah.
Today's episode is about Willy's Wonderland.
Yes.
Yes, Willy's Wonderland. What that year was a year?
2021.
2021, thank you. Yes, I knew it was fairly recent. Part of our continuing series working towards the Five Nights at Freddy's horror movie release next month. So we are binging all the mascot horror that we can get a hold of in the meantime, to work our way up to the pièce de résistance, right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
All right. Spoiler free synopsis for Willy's Wonderland is that we have a dark, mysterious figure, a man played by Nicolas Cage, who is going into a small town. His tire ends up flat, clearly on purpose. And they are like, we can't fix your tire right now. But we will do it for free if you stay in this building and clean it up overnight. And he does it. But when he gets in there and they lock him in, things go awry. Yeah.
10 out of 10. What a good spoiler-free synopsis. Okay,
Thanks.
So we're going to try something a little different this time. Now we're going to roll right into a spoiler synopsis before we discuss the rest of the movie. So if you have not seen Willy's Wonderland and are concerned about spoilers, pause, go and watch the movie, and then you can come back and listen to the rest of the podcast.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Okay. So, spoiler synopsis is that this is just Five Nights at Freddy's. They just took all the good bits out of it. It's such a video game movie. So the minute that our wordless protagonist, played by Nicolas Cage, enters this Willy's Wonderland, it becomes a checkpoint of cleaning and repairing and fighting off each boss battle of the major, I want to say 8 Wonderland animatronics.
So. Yeah.
Yes. And it turns out that this entire thing is a conspiracy led by this small town in order to appease these satanic possessed animatronics. And the cycle is not broken until Nicolas Cage and some random hot teenager destroy all of the animatronics and then drive away in a really hot car.
Yep. I liked him in this movie. I was confused about the fact that he was completely wordless. Got some questions for that, but otherwise, he did a great job.
You know what? Considering his age, although that's also not fair because Nicolas Cage has looked 45 since he was 23. So that's not quite a fair, but I was going to, for his age, he's in pretty good shape. His face is looking pretty good. He does wear the sunglasses for a lot of it. So that does cover up some of the crow's feet and such. But, I have to say that in an era of Chris Pine Botox weirdness, that if Nicolas Cage is getting work done, he's definitely been more subtle about it. And so I think he's, aging fairly well. I mean, obviously Five Nights at Freddy's and this mascot kind of horror is targeted at kind of a younger audience, which doesn't mean that you can't be older and like it. It just means that, the common denominator is this is really kind of for middle schoolers. This is middle school horror level, right? And that's fine. There's lots of stuff that's scary for kids or unintentionally scary that I think you can embrace even as an older fan. But the Puritan culture has kind of trickled into the horror community through stuff like this. So for example, everything in its mom has its own wiki now. So Willy Wonderland has its own wiki, and I clicked on it for something. I think I was trying to look up some information about the actress who is playing the teen Liv.
I think
Liv, who's playing the teen Liv. And when I was on that page, I saw something that called her Nicolas Cage's character adoptive daughter.
What?
And I just, I thought it was really funny because she's very obviously romantic coded. I mean, they call her a teenager. She's clearly meant to be like an older teen, maybe 18, 19, possibly 17, but the sexy kind. She's a very attractive woman. She's definitely played by a woman who's in her 20s, and they play romantic music over the two of them. There's the longing looks, the hot girl in a hot car is very much a romantic trope. Like this is not a feel-good adoption movie. And so I just thought it was really an interesting interpretation of this, just because Nicolas Cage is an older actor, she is a younger actress, but this is so Puritan culture, like, ew, age gap, no way, definitely he's her father now. Like it's like, oh sweetheart, no, that's not what this movie is.
It's not.
I kind of liked this video. It's such a video game movie. Like the part of him being a wordless protagonist has to do with his funky goatee. He is styled just like the infamously silent protagonist of Half-Life. Gordon Freeman, I want to say. He looks just like that character, who is always like, cosplayers will go to conventions as Gordon and not talk on purpose to be in character. So, Nicolas Cage is one of those infamous nerds. Like he paid for like the most, he has the most mint copy of Superman #1. It's not Superman, it's All Stars or whatever. Of the first Superman ever made. There's like a documentary about it. Like he's a huge nerd. And so I feel like every video game reference in here is intentional, because he's the reason it even got produced. Like someone got him the script and he was like, I love this. I love video games. I want to be in this. I will. And he like funded the whole thing because it made $0. I think they spent like $5 million on this, which definitely means he didn't pay himself. Right. Because some of those animatronics effects were quite good. Some were bad, but some were quite good. And that's where the $5 million went. Like he did not get any, and then it made like $100,000 or something like that.
Makes
like
sense.
It made.
I had never even heard of it, and I'll watch any random obscure whatever horror movie.
Yeah.
But honestly, of the movies we've seen so far, this one is my favorite. Yes,
out of the mascot horrors, I had so much fun watching this movie, despite the fact that it's not a great movie. Like it was enjoyable, and it was very much a horror movie. Like it was a silly horror movie, but I think that sometimes what is a horror movie, it's so blurred now. And it was kind of nice because it wasn't really sanitized. Like guts, there's sex, like there's stuff that happens in this movie, and it's very interesting. Like I had fun. I had something to look at and enjoy in every scene. I really liked the little video game like objective nods where he would like change his shirt at the beginning of every level. They give him a shirt to wear while he's cleaning, and it keeps getting messed up because he keeps murdering these animatronics and getting covered in like blood oil and just dirt. So he just changes his shirt and trucks right along. It's very awkward on camera. And I think that if you think about this as every character in this movie knows they're in a horror movie, except Nick Cage knows he's in a video game.
Like when him and the main girl are about to fight one of the animatronics and his watch goes off and he just kind of like hands her the pocket knife and he's like, it's time for my beer. And he just like leaves her there.
Yes. Because actually it's very weird, but I kind of like the fact that he has to take these regularly scheduled, it's an energy drink. It's hard to tell, but you have to like pause and like read the label, but it's like some fake energy drink they made for this movie.
That makes sense.
He has to have an energy drink and he has to go play pinball because it almost feels like healing and saving. Like he's got to stop, drink this energy drink to get his health bar up, and he's got to go play pinball. The pinball machine is his save point.
Got a save point.
Go do that, and then he can come back and do this.
He's just spamming that A button. Just talk, keep going.
Yes, I kind of dislike exposition, and because of the like just the way that the lore works for these kinds of mascot horror where there's some kind of cutesy mascot murder thing going around, but there's like deep lore, like all this murder, death, possession stuff. It really is like, I wonder how they're going to be able to translate that in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, or if they're just going to have to do kind of like quiet nods in the background to it, because it really does turn into, let me stand here and tell you about everything that happened. And I think if you were going to have that format, having him just kind of fucking around cleaning and repairing shit in the background was the most interesting, like visually interesting way that you could do that.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm super into Five Nights at Freddy's. Have I played the games? Like 2 of them, but I enjoy watching all of the deep dive YouTube videos as I'm doing my morning yoga. I like it. I enjoy it, you know. I actually have a bunch of super scary pictures of because I'm older, you know, when I was a child. Particularly, we went to Chuck E. Cheese and stuff a few times, but when my little brother turned, I want to say 4, we went to the Bubba's Showtime or whatever, which is like the scariest version of the Chuck E. Cheese. Like, they got bought and transformed into Chuck E. Cheese. I want to say that there was a Bubba, and then Chuck E. Cheese was a spinoff, and then Chuck E. Cheese got bigger, so it bought Bubba's. But the point is that the mascot was this like horrific bear thing, and it was way more frightening than Chuck E. Cheese and his gang. And there are these pictures of me and my brother looking super cute, you know, with our little party hats and our little cake, and these like lurking murder figures in the background of the like animatronics or like people in suits. Like, it looks like somebody's ARG, but it's my actual life. Like, this is I remember this being a pretty good birthday. We had a great time. We had no idea how freaky this was. And so I particularly love the mascot horror because I'm old enough to where there were actually people in pretty scary, not cute at all costumes running around as children's entertainment. And this was just a thing that we did. Legit, like, that was Chuck E. Cheese for your birthday. That was dope. Like, that was that was super fun. That was something that you had to have money for. Like, you couldn't do that every year. Like, it was a big deal.
Not then, no.
No, absolutely not. So, like, I don't know. It reminds me, it's like nostalgia, but like twisted nostalgia kind of thing. So I know all of the background about all the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, and I can tell you that they took every element and shoved it into this movie. Like, this guy just copy pasted all the Matt Pat videos on the lore and turned it into a script. Because like the murderers working at the animatronic place and being inside the costumes and then dying, and their like evil essence goes into the costume, like people trying to set the place on fire in order to like destroy them, like all of that is part of Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, all of that. All the same. Like, it's exactly the same. I will say that it was very refreshing to then have like the Nicolas Cage. It took me an embarrassingly long time to realize he wasn't going to talk. I didn't look anything up about the movie until I was watching the movie. But at some point, like 30 minutes in, I was like, wait, is he never going to talk?
Is he really? I didn't look up anything either. All I knew was that it was a Five Nights at Freddy's type. That was it. And I was like, was he being like paid by the word? Hence, no words at all. I was trying to make it make sense.
I want to say it looks like a $5 million movie, in that there's like 2 or 3 scenes with the animatronics that look so good. Like, the first 2 fight scenes with the animatronics look so good. And then by the end, when he's fighting Willy, it's clearly just a dude in a suit. There's just a dude in the suit, and he's wrestling around with him and hitting him with a bag, and it's okay. It's not bad. It's just that, like, I think it was so much stronger at the beginning. It really felt like maybe they ran out of money for good effects. You know, half the fun is the fact that it's a creepy robot, dude. You know, a guy in a suit is also scary, but in a different way.
In a much different. My kid had his orientation this week, and at school, and they had a mascot, and he like was like, "That's a guy. There's a guy in a costume, right, mommy?" And I was like, "Yeah, but he would not go over there."
Your kid's too smart for that.
Like other kids were going up to it and like taking pictures with it and all that stuff, and he was like pushing into me, like just to make sure, like he would wave at him and then just kind of like side eye.
He did not grow up a Chuck E. Cheese
No.
or Bubba's Showtime child. You know, he's not.
To them,
here.
Chuck E. Cheese is just a place where they play games.
Yes.
They don't. You know what? The last time I took him to Chuck E. Cheese, I don't even remember if the animatronics were there. Like, I don't even remember seeing
I think
the
they're
stage.
getting rid of them. I think they're getting rid of them because they are kind of expensive, and then kids think they're kitsch now.
So at the end of this, when the dudes come back, because I can't think of the owner of the place and then the other guy.
Tex and the cop. That's all I know.
That's all I know. Their faces when, first of all, we know that they've done this multiple times. Like there's plenty of hints that this is not the first time. Like this is a regular thing, right? That they feed the animatronics or they feed the demons or whatever. And their conversation about like, no, you go. Well, no, you go. Like they don't have a system yet. You all didn't like draw straws before you got here. Like every time you go, they have this argument. No, you go. Plus, they're expecting him to be dead and the like animatronics to be sated. So just go in. And then their faces when they get in there, and it's like clean. Pristine. That was my other note, was like, so he's in here and he's like legitimately cleaning because that's his objective, is to clean the place. But it was so dirty. I was like, does no one ever actually try to clean? I mean, he had a good half hour, like 20 minutes before the first thing attacked him. Like, has no one ever actually attempted to clean the place? Like it was.
When Chuck E. Cheese bought Showtime Pizza, they put out these like videos, like these how-to videos for how to strip the animatronics down and re-theme them to Chuck E. Cheese now. So it's like how to like take them apart and take off their skin and then put the new skin on. And it's very informative. It's like, remove the skin at joint B kind of thing. And then they show you like peeling it back, but it is so freaky looking. It is so scary. It's like, I can't imagine being in some workshop by myself doing this. Ooh, don't like it. I both love, hate, and fear animatronics. That's three things that I both do. But I have complicated feelings towards them. I think they're so neat. Rainforest Cafes was so cool back in the day. I love robot animals. I think they're cool.
I think they're a little bit creepy. I mean, I will approach an animatronic before I go into a haunted house, though. So there's that.
So haunted animatronic, best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
So that was Willy's Wonderland. And until next time, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.